We have some pretty good news to share with you guys about the U.S. and Iran and our relations. Now, when we initially learned that the Iran deal was complete, what did Republicans say? They immediately said they were against it, and they spoke about how we didn't even get our prisoners out of Iranian jail. So, on that alone, we shouldn't do it. They used that as evidence to suggest that the deal was bad, because we didn't get our prisoners. Now, Obama came out and said, calm down, do you know how diplomacy works? You don't get everything you want up front, you got to give it some time, etc., etc. He said that. I gave him credit for that. I also said something very similar. And the bottom line is that rational people thought, well, this could be just the beginning here. Once you get some kind of a deal and you're both sides are acting in good faith, well, then you open up communications, and then, the possibilities are endless for what can happen from there. You increase your chances of freeing the prisoners. So today we get this news from The Guardian, quote, Iran will work to free 3 Americans from its prisons if the U.S. releases jailed Iranians, President Hassan Rouhani said on Sunday. Quote, if the Americans take the appropriate steps and set them free, certainly the right environment will be open and the right circumstances will be created for us to do everything within our power and our purview to bring about the swiftest freedom for the Americans held in Iran as well. At least 3 Americans, all of them of Iranian heritage, are in jail in Iran, including a Washington Post reporter who was arrested in July 2014 and accused of spying. The 2 other Americans are Amir Hekmati, a former U.S. Marine who was charged with spying, and Saeed Abedini, a convert to Christianity who gathered a Bible study group there. Now, the U.S. has 19 Iranians in jail here. It looks like it could happen. Now, there's nothing definitive out of this statement, and it could just be public posturing and just a sign of goodwill to see if the right conditions come about, then maybe we do X, Y, and Z. But the bottom line is, man, just like I said at the beginning, this is how diplomacy works. See, in the Republican mind, or in the mind of Republican officials, people who have power in the Republican Party, they have this all-or-nothing toddler-like view, where it's like, okay, we're sitting down at the table, how about you give us everything we want and we give you dick? And the Iranians are going to do what? Oh yeah, let me sign that deal, that sounds fantastic. No, it's a give and take, and clearly you do have some hard lines where you say, this I will not negotiate on, this one's off the table, and they can have those lines as well. But this is how adults function. You compromise, you're thoughtful, you're intelligent, and you really try to figure it out in the realm of ideas and concepts so you don't have to revert to war at any time. And once we took that first step, well, then again, you've now opened up the dialogue and made it so that they're going to be much more reasonable on these different things, and we're going to be much more reasonable on these different things. And this is the way we should go about trying to solve almost all of our problems internationally. Now, I'm under no illusions. I don't think ISIS is interested in any way, shape, or form in negotiations. I wouldn't try to negotiate with them. I don't think almost anybody would try to negotiate with them. So yes, are there ever instances where force is the only option? Absolutely. But as I've said before, not to get sidetracked here in an ISIS rant, they're not a direct threat to the United States of America right now, so I've laid out my plan to beat them, cut off the access to the oil field, so cut off their funding. That'll obviously hurt them, and have the international community, and, you could say the Shiites in the region and the Kurds who are fighting them, have them continue to fight them, etc., etc. But bottom line is, for the place that we're in right now, we've tried war. We've tried it quite a bit. The results were the opposite of what we say we wanted. I mean, the whole idea of the war on terror, limit or eliminate the terrorists. Well, there's been a net increase in terrorists since we started the war on terror. By any objective measure here, it's been a failure. So what does that mean? You need a new approach. And if we can sit down and work out our problems with a lot of different countries, I'm sure the end result is going to be better. Now, we've already started going down this road when it comes to Cuba, which is fantastic. We're doing it with Iran, which is fantastic. And I'd like to continue to do it, maybe we de-escalate the situation with Russia. Maybe we de-escalate a little further with China, the cyber spying issues that have been happening recently. This is how rational people function, and this is why it's very important to have people in power who are open to reason and who don't act like children.